Hi guys, it's Gilly Hunt here. I'm just starting a new project actually, and I thought I'd like to give you a little introduction before I actually start. Welcome to my A to Z of Stampin' Up products. I'm going to start on March the 1st, and every Sunday for 26 weeks I'm going to give you another little piece of information all about Stampin' Up products. And what made me do this? Well, a couple of things really. I'm very aware that this is one of the very first tags I ever made, and I remember going into the catalogues at the time to try and find things to make. And as I opened up the catalogues, a bit like I do today with my catalogues, I'm very lucky because I'm a demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for long enough now to kind of know my way around the catalogue. They sometimes change the layout a little bit, and it's a bit like when they change the layout in the supermarket. You kind of can't remember where the sugar is, but eventually you kind of know where it's going to be. And so you do find your way through the catalogue. But when you're brand new and it's the first time you've ever been into the catalogue, it's an enormous array of beautiful products, all really tempting, but you almost get to a point where you can't choose. And I know somebody gave me a wonderful analogy the other day, and I hope you don't mind me being a little bit rude, but somebody said it's a bit like going into Marks and Spencer's and trying to find a pair of knickers. There are so many, you end up knickerless. So I think it's a little bit like that with Stampin' Up, that there are so many things that we don't quite know where to get started. And so that, combined with producing this little booklet for an event, a training event that I was involved in a couple of weeks ago, made me stop and think. And I produced this little booklet which has an introduction to the paper and cardstock and the designer papers and inks and different types of papers. It also has how to clean your stamps, which inks go best with which colouring materials, how to put inks onto stamps onto blocks, how to use the best adhesive for the right occasion, things like cutting and embossing, using your trimmer, tips and hints, and so on and so on. And this little booklet I made, and I thought it's wonderful. But it's only wonderful if you can see the samples and you can get an idea of what's happening. And that was fine for that event because, of course, I was talking to people live and kicking at the time, and we raced through loads of samples and we had a fun time. And then I realised that even if I was to give this away, it would be absolutely useless because we're all very visual people. Most people that enjoy crafting are particularly visual. And so we like to see things. So I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could break this down and break all the things that come in this collection of wonderful catalogues and books into manageable chunks that would be understandable. And then I went back to my classes that I run on a regular basis. And I thought, well, I've got to prove to you that I perhaps know enough to do this. So I thought, what can I say? Well, I can first of all say I never know everything there is to know about Stampin' Up, and I certainly don't know all there is to know about stamping or creating crafts, because we never can. And I'm hoping that part of the process of the A to Z, that you will put comments in the comment box and you'll give us your ideas and share your thoughts too. So as a way of tempting you in, I thought I'd show you some of my older products and projects that I've done in my classes over the last 3 or 4 years maybe, just to give you a flavour of the kind of thing we might do. So we might look at some very simple stamping. This was fairly recently done, and hopefully we'll get some wow ideas of things to do with window sheet maybe. Maybe we'd look at window sheet more thoroughly, and we'd look at how we can use nail varnish remover to create wonderful negative images. Maybe we'd use our stamping blends to create backgrounds for butterflies. Maybe we'd look at vellum and what we can do with vellum. We might look at glimmer card or foil papers. So those would be lovely things to look at, wouldn't they? Perhaps we'll also look at stamps and stamping and crafting for occasions. Maybe Valentine's cards or alternatives to Valentine's card. Maybe we'd have a look at, let's just bring in a little bottle, I've got my bottle of water here. Maybe we'd look at how to make little tags to go over the top of a bottle. For Father's Day, these were created in the shape of a card. Of a tie. We did some Mother's Day bags. These are other things that I've done in my classes recently. We've looked at embellishments, how simple and pretty an embellishment can be on that very special card when you're sharing sympathy. So just that little tiny piece of sparkle and a simple black image, or something more complex. Perhaps you're wanting to embellish for a really fabulous invitation for a Christmas or a maybe congratulations for something happening over the new year. Reminds me of fireworks, that one. Or maybe you just want to embellish like mad for a teenage card and stick a pop-up in the middle. But those are all lovely ways of using embellishments. We're also going to look during the course at one of the things that people ask me probably the most, and that is, which markers do I use for which things? This was made using our dye-based markers. This lovely card here was made using our watercolour pencils, and this one here, oh, these are, that one should be shut like that, and this was made using our blender pens, which allow you to get some really lovely, if I get up really close to that, get some lovely images. Okay, so we might also have a look at how to make cards that fold up. So really nice simple cards that fold, and we might look at cards that go pop. Woohoo! And we might look at Christmas decorations and tags and things that we can make for just hanging up for those lovely little moments that we need. And last but not least, we might make some boxes. And we might make a rather pretty little box like this one. Sadly empty, but I'm sure we can think of something to put inside. But tucked inside of this, I've also enclosed a little card. And inside that card it says, join me this Sunday for my A to Z. Love, Gilly. Well, come along. Come and find out more about my A to Z of current products. I've raced you through some older products, but we're going to be looking at the current new and on-trend products that are coming in for the next 26 weeks, every Sunday, starting this Sunday, March the 1st. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.